Hi there, Stacy Reed with Integrity Plus Financial Solutions, and I am super excited to learn from Karen, our business coach today. We're going to chat about the word teachable.
It's an exciting word.
It is. There's lots of really good stuff with it, and I'm sure there's even some scary things with it too,
Yeah.
as we
It's very true.
yeah. So we're going to dive right in, and we are thankful that you're joining us today. If you miss at any point, you're in the midst of this broadcast and want to start back over, go to I'vedecided.org and you'll be able to catch the whole show. So I might try to put a plug in that mid-show as well. But the word teachable. So I looked it up and, of course, able to be taught. Like good
Yeah.
old definitions, you know. But willing to learn, eager to receive information. And one word that it came up with that I thought was really cool or really like hit ya is being humble.
Oh, yeah, it is.
So, yeah.
Yeah, being teachable is a tough one because we all want information and we want to know and we want to feel like we're experts. But on the flip side, you have to be humble to recognize that I don't know everything, and so there's always something I can learn, and I can learn from every person. So, there's always the opportunity where you can teach someone, but you can also learn from every person too.
Yeah. And and we're such a society now, our culture is like, you just want it now. So hurry up, tell me what I need to know
Yeah.
now so I can
Right.
get where I need to be now,
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, how do we make this process the shortest process or multitasking my way to this point?
Yeah. Exactly.
It's hard to like really just, I mean, some of the things when I was just doing some like looking into Teachable and talking points, a lot of it's like slow down, listen,
Yeah.
relax, like
It's so true.
read, just all these different things that are like the opposite of what we tend to be.
Yeah.
Does that seem
Yeah,
right to
because
you?
we go through life, in the course of a day, it's all about what can I accomplish and task after task. And if, like for example, with your getting here today, all the
Yes.
obstacles that you faced in traffic, we have a tendency to just want to rush right through everything. And yet there is that teachable moment in all of that. And learning how to slow down is probably like the hardest thing.
Yeah.
Or just not think and get to that place where I'm like, okay, wait, what can I learn in this moment? That's really hard because, in saying that, it means I do not know everything.
Yeah.
But I think that's what makes a great leader, and that's what makes a person that you want to connect. It creates like a magnetism when you are teachable. People want to be around you versus the kind of person that knows everything. We have a tendency to kind of want to walk across the room to avoid that person. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true. So I'm going to start with getting into the word, but I really want to start with learning a little bit about you and how you became a business coach and what made you pick that area and how long have you been doing it and
Yeah.
just
Okay.
kind of give me your background and what you love about it and
Sure.
yeah.
Well, I'd like to say I was teachable, but probably the opposite was true. I actually came into the company that I work with, Leadership Management International, almost 9 years ago. And through the process of just learning this new job, which is what it was at the time, really realized how much I didn't know and how much there was available for me to learn. And all of a sudden, that concept like lifted the ceiling that I had on my life. And so, learning to have that teachable attitude, like there's so much that I can do and I can learn, and there is no capacity that can hold me back except for what I put on myself. That's kind of led me down this journey. And so I started out in Canada
Oh,
where we
wow.
were living. And then when we moved here back to the Midwest, I miss my job so much. And so I was like, well, how can I just do it here? And so purchased the franchise, and I'm on my own now and absolutely love it. It's not a job. It's who I am. It's what I do. And every day I have to remind myself, I don't know all the answers. I don't know how to fix everybody's problems, but we'll explore this together. And
Awesome.
so, yeah, that's being teachable has helped me get to where I am. And I think it's a daily struggle that we can't, if you say that I'm teachable and that's just who I am all the time, may not be so much truth in that.
Well, and I think when I was thinking about it, one of the thoughts that I had is, we're kind of, or we should be, almost teachable till the day we die. I
Yeah.
mean, if you think about it, it is just like a lifelong process. It's just
Yeah.
one of those words that just doesn't go away because, like, by 30, you're good. Or
Yeah.
by 40,
Right.
it's like on and on and
It
on.
is.
And there's certain things that I remember, like as a kid, there's certain subjects that I loved. I loved math, loved numbers. Could not stand history. I just felt like it was irrelevant, boring, all these different
Right.
things.
Yeah.
And now as an adult, like I just couldn't probably get enough of it.
Oh,
I
that's
wish I could
awesome.
just do a do-over,
Yeah.
for that, because there's so many cool things about history that
Yeah.
and isn't that weird but I just think about that in so many areas of my life, whether it's my business and continually learning and growing, or even on my spiritual journey,
Yeah.
and that continual, but I mean, there's just so many things, even like with history. Like I said,
Yeah.
I mean, it just, even that, it's like I'm intrigued with that and I want
Yeah.
to learn and I want to know. And so, yeah. So what are some of the businesses that you see that come to you? What are some of the things that they're wanting to, what's their hurdle? What's the thing that you see the most of?
A lot of them are just struggling with their productivity and employee engagement. Those are kind of two big things. But when we kind of dig down and we look in deep, it's because they're doing the same thing that they've always done. So if we can get them past that hurdle of this is what we've always done and be willing to look at, hey, there might be a different opportunity. And kind of like you mentioned, the history, you kind of for a while were maybe closed off because maybe a teacher didn't present it in a way that intrigued you or made it come alive to you. Now it is, and now you're passionate about it. If I can help someone see something slightly different that maybe they were closed off to, maybe now they'll try something and realize, oh wow, I can be more productive by making a few shifts in my focus and a few shifts in what I do, or employee engagement by, I mean, to me, the best way to improve employee engagement is to look at the other person as a person. Like this person is a mom, a sister, a wife, this guy is a dad, a brother. There's a story to everybody. And when you are willing to look at the person as this is a story, we can look past so many other things. So,
That is so true. I remember even thinking about that with working with kids, even a little bit. That there are kids that, well, as a matter of fact, like I'm a big for Big Brothers Big Sisters,
okay,
and
that's great.
one of the things when I'm meeting with her and she's, like annoyed with a teacher or acted out with a teacher, you know, it's one thing that when I was her age, I said, never did I look at my teachers or librarian as a person. I always looked at them as, it was like this science teacher or whatnot that,
Right.
I found that irrelevant. So therefore, I wasn't a fan of that teacher maybe or
Exactly.
something,
Yeah.
but realizing that this teacher, you have no idea what they're going through before they get to school,
Yeah.
and I've told Ari, I'm like, just like you have walked in here and maybe you didn't sleep well, you've got a headache, you don't feel all the greatest, whatever it may be,
Yeah.
and you've come to school with that. They also come to school like that.
So
You
true.
don't know how many kids they're taking care of and getting out the door, what their morning's been like,
Yeah.
and they've had to come to school like that. And so that is so true. If you look past the fact that they're just not just an employee or
Yeah.
just a teacher or just a student, but the fact that they came from an environment of you don't know what they're walking
Yeah.
through.
And I think that's what makes you teachable is when you have that concept. And yeah, it's really powerful. I mean, I went to the gym this morning to work out. I attempt to start my days that way.
That's awesome.
And so I'm at the gym. I was actually finished and I grabbed my keys and I saw this elderly lady on a rowing machine. And I remember my dad saying, a rowing machine is a great way, it works the entire body. And I was just going to walk by and I thought, I'm going to go ask her. I mean, she's like definitely my senior by many years. And so I sat down beside her on an empty row machine and I said, how does this work? And we struck up a conversation, and I just found out so much about her, and it was intriguing. And here, this lady, she was 87,
Oh
and
my
she taught me
goodness.
how to use the rowing machine. And
How
is she the
sweet.
most fit or most buff? But no, but she inspired me, and that was
Yeah.
powerful, and that was a teachable moment. And
That is
I
so
learned from
cool.
her, and maybe normally I would have just walked by this little elderly lady. So
And my guess is it made her day.
yeah,
You
exactly.
know,
And it
that
made my day. I felt so good to be able to sit and make a connection. 2 minutes on the rowing machine.
right.
And tomorrow I'll be on the rowing machine.
That is so cool. That's so sweet. I love that. I love that. So, some of the things when I was looking up Teachable, some of the takeaways, and I thought these were really good, and you're probably going to ditto or piggyback or have some things to share as well. I wanted to just share with some of our audience maybe some things that if they're listening to the show that they could take and apply to, how do we become teachable and what does that look like? And how does that really make a difference if I become teachable or if I were to implement that? So some of the things that I read was like reflecting on your daily activities.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and I really don't do this probably daily. I do it in a chunk. So like, you get like first quarter, you go into the
Yeah.
second quarter, or you're at June, you're halfway through the year, you've
Sure.
got the next half. Or like at the end of the year, you kind of reflect back going into the next year, what you need to do different or whatnot. And it was kind of like better, worse, same or different, like kind of take a look at that. And I thought that was really a really neat, you know,
Concept. It's
yeah.
great. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's super powerful, and that's one thing that I always share with my clients is that at the end of every day, when you close your day, if you use any kind of a planner, that's exactly what you should do, and like reflect on not only the things maybe that you didn't do well that you wished you would have done better, but what were things that you did well and why. Be curious about what was this that made the difference. And when you do that, it will actually, again, it slows us down, which is what we need because we live in an incredibly fast-paced society.
Sure.
So it slows you down, and then you can actually learn from yourself, which is amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Another thing, and this is so true, is read something every day. And when I walked in,
Oh yeah.
you guys were just talking and sharing about a book.
Yeah.
And but it is so true as far as, a book can give us different perspectives. And it is amazing. If you look up some really good leaders and what they read and how much they
Oh
read
yeah.
every day, it is insane. Like I'm like, how do you do that? Would be like half my day. Like how do there are people out there that read 500 pages a day.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, but no, you don't have to be that aggressive. But I just think that even reading every
Yeah.
day, I love to read. But you know what? I am like a busy, busy, busy. And
Yeah.
like you were just saying, we're just so task oriented that, you know what? It's like a back burner thing.
Yep,
And
it is.
we're really missing it
Yeah.
if we are not reading.
Yeah. I set micro goals for reading because I have very long days. I'm working, I'm a mom, I
Yeah.
volunteer a lot. So, free evenings are few and far between. And so when I do, I'm just the kind of person that when I set my head on a pillow, I don't have too much time and I'm out.
Yeah.
So, but reading is super important because I always want to be a learner. And so I do set like micro goals that I read at least 2 pages a day. So it's like
There
not
you
even a
go.
lot,
So
but I know that I
yeah,
can do
that's-
that.
yeah.
And I tried before saying, well, I'm going to read a chapter a day because that felt like big and like, okay, I can accomplish that. But then I was failing day after day because I'm so tired. But I thought, if I can read make that my goal, 2 pages, I did it. And maybe then a Saturday morning I can read like the whole chapter.
Sure.
And
sure.
so doing little tiny things, but also like audiobooks are amazing. We all spend time in the car.
Very
So
true. That's a very
get,
good point.
find
Yeah.
an app
Yeah.
that there's so many different apps out there, and find a book. And yeah, we were just talking about one of my new favorite books.
Yeah, so share.
It's called The One Thing, and it's an Audible book. I'm almost finished with it, and I'm going to buy the actual book because I want to reread it. It just was so powerful. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's my book.
That's awesome.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Another thing is balance and learn to listen. And we kind of we
Mm.
touched base on this a little bit. And one of the sayings that came up, and I thought this is so true, is two ears and one mouth for a reason. And
Oh
I'm like,
yeah,
we've all heard
yeah,
that, I think. And I'm
yeah,
like, that is so true. It was just kind of a little nugget that was like, you kind of
yeah.
forget
There's
that.
actually a Bible verse that says to be quick to hear, slow to speak, and
That's right.
slow to answer because you know I'm kind of quick-witted, but that can be a detriment.
Yeah.
So if you think, twice, maybe before it comes out, you're going to make sure it comes out and it's powerful and in a positive
Yes.
way instead of a negative way.
Right.
But yeah, I think reflecting before we speak is absolutely huge, and learning that balance of when
Absolutely.
to speak and when to listen.
Right. Last one that I read was surround yourself with people you can learn from.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, there's a saying. I'll probably not get it quite accurate, but you are the sum of the six people that you spend the most time with, and that is so true. And
Isn't that?
if you have kids,
Yeah, right, right.
find out who they're spending time with because it
Yeah,
influences who you are. And so,
absolutely.
if you feel like, well, you're not being challenged or you're not growing, then put yourself out there with someone that you'd like to be like that person, or you see something they're accomplishing that you'd like to accomplish, and surround yourself with people who will challenge you, not just tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah,
That's absolutely
that's
huge.
true.
And like, be willing to learn from them. And sometimes I go to groups and I'm just quiet and I just take it all in, and because I can learn from so much. And I think the biggest key for me in being teachable, though, is being curious.
Ooh, that's
Never
good. I like
feeling
that.
like I've got it all.
Yeah.
I'm pushing the 50 marker, and I've lived a lot of years and I have a lot of life experience, but I don't know everything. And so I always want to have that curious mindset and attitude so that I can learn something and always be growing. And that will create that magnetism that we really want in life, to make a difference.
Yeah, that's very cool. I like that. And I think that curiosity kind of helps you. There's a humbleness with that as
Yeah.
well, because if I think sometimes we feel like we have to know it all. We
Yeah.
kind of have to just know it, and we don't allow ourselves that it's okay.
To be curious.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it, children, when they're really young, they're always asking, why? Why? What are you doing? Why does that go there? And, my one of my daughters used to follow my dad around anytime he was fixing something and always asking questions and why? And I know as a parent that can get on your nerves pretty fast. And we kind of squelch that. And we just always need to be curious of like, what is, even if there's a conflict, like, okay, so tell me about it. Like, what is going on? And
Yeah.
if we're curious about it, we're going to disarm that person that may be upset or irritable. And maybe we're able to find a way to resolve the situation in a much better, more effective way than if we were just to come in and say, okay, this is it. This is what we're going to do.
Yes.
So be curious about
So
everything.
true. Yeah. I love that. So our time is winding up, and if you caught wind of part of this message, I encourage you to go to ivedecided.org and check it out and listen. And I hope some of the points that we talked about today were just little nuggets of things that you could do to become more teachable or stay curious
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. So I want to thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
If you're a business owner and you are just stuck in a rut and you're in need of a good business coach, how can they
Oh.
find you, Karen?
Oh, you can find me. I do have a Facebook page. I'm working on a website, so I don't have that up and finished yet. But you can email me at slightedgecoaching@gmail.com. Better put
Okay.
that Gmail in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can find me there. I'd put my phone number out, but that
That's
might not be
okay.
wise.
That's all right. And you have a Facebook and it's under
Slight Edge Coaching.
Slight Edge
Yes.
Coaching. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Or
definitely look her
LinkedIn.
up. Or LinkedIn. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I thank you for coming
Thank
and
you.
sharing today and sharing, the things that you do and help
Thank you.
businesses, but I appreciate your 2 cents on.
Yeah, I thought it was neat because we didn't really compare notes ahead of time, and a lot of what I had written down was stuff that you had written down.
Similar.
So
That's awesome.
that's always
That's
amazing.
awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks again for joining us. And like I said, reach out to ivedecided.org for more information, and reach out to Karen as well for a slight edge coaching.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much, Stacy.
You betcha. Thanks, and have a good day.
PeoriaLife.com